Believe it or not, it's like December 28th here in North Carolina, and about 9 o'clock in the morning, it's already like 65 degrees. We're gonna do some winter cleaning here in the garage. It's actually crazy, I haven't seen it this empty in a long time. We gotta get some maintenance done on the 110. Gotta get the oil change done, clean air filter, just regular maintenance. All right, so as with any combustion engine, anytime you're gonna change oil, it's best to get the motor hot first. So we're gonna go ahead and get her nice and hot, let her idle for 5-10 minutes, and then drain that oil out. Clean the air filter while we're at it, and I think we're gonna go ahead and drill out that pilot jet while we're in here. Might as well. I did the main jet, and the main jet is tuned perfectly. I've had actually a couple people asking me lately about the painted wheels. So this rock chip right here is about the only issue I've had so far. So the next thing I need is from JTI. So JTI, if you're watching this, hook a brother up, dude. I need that brake control arm. Let's go ahead and get this motor hot and get the oil drained.
That sounds good.
All right, so we got the bike all hot. We're gonna go ahead and drain this oil. You can see this 12mm bolt right here. That is your, that's your drain plug. All right, go ahead and get the drain plug back in. As you can see, we made a little bit of a mess. So we actually didn't make too much of a mess. It's not nearly as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be covered in oil. Drain plug is back tight. I've never had to torque down a drain plug in all my years of riding. Just make it tight enough, so I'm not really sure exactly what the torque specs are, if that's what you're looking for, but we'll go ahead and get some fresh oil in it. All right, so the TTR 110 calls for 0.8 liters of a 10W30 motorcycle oil. This is 𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕚 10W30, and if you are unsure what 0.8 of a liter is, it's roughly 27 ounces. All right, and the best thing to get is like a ratio right of some sort. I actually just picked this up at Ace Hardware. It's like $4, and it'll tell you exactly how much you need to put in there. Other than that, the oil change is done. The only thing left to do is just clean this air filter up, and we'll be good to go. So I typically like to change the oil on this about every 15 hours or so. These bikes are relatively low maintenance. You really don't have to maintain them like a race bike to get good performance out of them, and you can maintain your bike at any interval you want to. That's just what I prefer to do. But yeah, other than that, oil change on these are super easy. Basically drain, fill, replace the oil filter every other ride, and you are good to go. All right, so these are 8mm, and to the best of my knowledge, all you gotta do is pull the shroud off here. So once you get this right side shroud bolt out, there's a small like rivet back here. It's got a Phillips head, and these things are honestly a pain in the butt. You just gotta loosen them up just enough so you can pull them out. And there, once you have that, basically the air filter cover is exposed, and you can just get the filter out. And just like that, air filter cover comes off, and honestly, this thing is super clean. So I've had this bike now for quite a while, and this filter is still extremely clean. I probably have, I don't know, maybe 20 to 25 hours on it. Filter's super clean, so for now, I'm just gonna leave it alone. All right, once you got the air box back on, you can just basically install this rivet back in and put your shroud back on, and it is all good to go. All right, guys, so that's gonna do it for this one. That is basic maintenance on a 2019 TTR 110. If I'm not mistaken, the same basic rules apply for pretty much like the 2008, ever since they made the 110, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I could be wrong, so I would definitely look at your owner's manual. But for the most part, this bike is still set up the same way. But yeah, that's basic maintenance. Really easy stuff on these bikes and not much you have to do. All right, so I know I said that we were gonna go ahead and tune this pilot jet while we got it here. So we'll go ahead and get this knocked out. Shouldn't take any more than about, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes to do it. It's not a hard process at all. Basically just gotta drop the fuel bowl down. And once the fuel bowl comes off, basically the pilot and the main jet are just sitting right there at the bottom of the carburetor, and basically just pull it out. And I've got that jet drill set that I use for the main jet, and we're gonna go ahead and get that taken care of. First thing you always wanna make sure the fuel is turned off. And then what you're gonna wanna do is drain the fuel out of the bottom of the float. All right, so once you get the fuel drained out of the bowl, you can go ahead and take the bowl off. And what you want to be really careful of is there's a seal inside between the float bowl and the bottom of the carburetor. And if it comes out, it's basically formed in the shape of the top of the float bowl. And if it comes out, it's really, really difficult to get back in. And I did it. You would think it wouldn't be hard to get back in, basically because of how it's shaped. But what ends up happening is there's about 2 millimeters of extra gasket. And it just wants, when you press it down in one spot, it just wants to come up in another spot. All right, so what you can see here, you've got your main jet right here, and you've got your pilot jet here, the smaller one. We're gonna go ahead and pull that pilot out and see if we can drill it out any. And just keep in mind that these jets are brass, so you want to be very, very careful with them to ensure that they don't strip in any way. All right, and you can see how small the pilot jet is. We'll see if there's any way we can get this drilled out at all. All right, so we got a few different sizes here. We got a 0.5 millimeter and a 0.6 millimeter. This is the 0.5 right here. That's really our only option right now. If not, we'll have to order it. I guess we'll just order a new jet. All right, so we're able to get the pilot jet drilled out with a 0.5 millimeter. Anytime you do any kind of jetting work, be sure to run some carb cleaner through it. I use 𝕤𝕚𝕚𝕚. That seems to be the absolute best. And get any debris that's out of here, because that's gonna mess up your idle. You also don't want any kind of trash in the carburetor, so we'll go ahead and get this jet put back in and see if it runs any better. You only gotta be hand tight. You don't want them too tight in here. And we'll go ahead and get the bowl back on and see what happens. Float bowl screws have locking nuts on them, so you don't have to make those super tight either. Just tight enough to be on. Go ahead and turn the fuel back on, give it an opportunity to fill up the bowl, and then we'll see if the work we did made any difference. All right, so I don't know why the camera cut off, but bike runs great. I can't really tell any difference that it made by drilling the pilot jet out any, so I don't know, maybe we'll just have to order a size up. I'm not really sure. It's not a huge deal. It still idles fine, so. But other than that, that's gonna wrap this one up. That is basic maintenance, and it's a little bit of carb tuning on a 2019 TTR 110. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments below. Otherwise, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in the next one.